Car Chronicles. Right.
We're going to sing.
Are we?
Carpool karaoke.
Should we do that? Carpool karaoke. Well, actually, no, because it'll get copyrighted.
I can't sing.
So, and there's that as well.
Yeah.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. John Ryder, Car Chronicles. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's nice to see you.
No, good to see you. Good to see the boys. Obviously, little recap for the start of the year, and a busy start of the year for yourself, of course. I've just watched you and Felix spar, right? And I said to him, I said, he didn't pull a single punch, did he?
It never does.
Because I don't know what I was expecting. Obviously, you and Jimmy are in there. It was sort of nice, light sparring, and then Felix gets in, and you and him sort of go toe to toe.
Yeah, I think it's just. You know what? He only knows one way, and I think like if you take that away from him, then I don't know. It's not Felix. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's the best way. Like we're training to fight, and listen, it's the nearest thing to it. So. Yeah, I think when you've not got Felix going full steam ahead, then there's something not right.
How's training and prep gone so far for the 12?
Really good. Like honestly, everyone says like best camp yet, but honestly, the camp's been great so far. We've had good sparring in. Been very fortunate as well with the sparring we've had, and yeah, I think this week and then next week's the final week of camp, and then we're heading into fight week. So. Buzzing really, it's been great. Obviously Christmas in the way was a bit of a nose, but you know, we got out of the way and kept focused, so it's nice just to be back. Everyone's obviously back from holidays now. It was a bit hard to get sparring over the Christmas period because gyms were closed down and stuff, but we made do and everyone's back now and we're finally kicking on again.
What's the response been like? I know Coogan come and spoke to you and you were basically saying for the interview how buzzing you are to land this fight, because it is a proper fight in North London as well. But just in terms of the response from people you know, perhaps people online as well, because I haven't heard a single person say a bad word about it, because it is, when the Zone put their calendar out, one of the standouts in this country.
No, you know what? I mean, you never know. I always hoped it would get a good response, and quite, yeah, it's been a very good response. I'm not like, I say I'm surprised, but I suppose it is a good fight, and a fight for like the purist. I suppose the people that think it's going to be a shit fight, their opinion don't really matter, does it? But I think, listen, it's all we've both got to put it all on the line. So I think it can only make for a good fight. Obviously, Danny Jacobs is a good fighter. He's been a good fighter, and he's got a point to prove, and so have I. I need to prove that I belong at world level after recent performances, and obviously a bit of time out with COVID, but I need to show that I'm still there and ready to kick on.
Do you feel like this is a fight that if you didn't win, it would be the end of your time at world level?
Massively, yeah. I think especially now as well at 33, I think that I can't really go back down to 6-rounders and 8-rounders just properly like shows. I think not putting myself on this pedestal, but I'm not getting any younger, and it's hard to get back to I've worked my whole career to get to this stage, so a loss at this stage will just send me right back down the pecking order. So I don't think there's really time to regroup, rebuild and go again.
Yeah, it's one of them, because I suppose theoretically people who do lose at that level, they could always go back down and have entertaining fights, but once you've been at that level, regardless of whether you've got your hands on a world title or not, a British title fight don't cut it, does it?
Yeah, I mean obviously that's something that's always evaded me, and still a title that I would love to have had, but yeah, I mean, if you're operating at a certain level, like, do you really want to drop down? I don't know, but listen, I've always said that as long as I'm winning and doing well, long may it continue. But at the stage of my career now, with the time we've had the last 2 years with COVID and stuff, it's been slow, it's been hard, and I think no one's really where they want to be currently after having these last 2 years. But it's time for me to kick on and start doing well and making a name for myself.
Yeah. Just in terms of Danny Jacobs, obviously, look, he's been at the elitist of elite levels, and he is a top fighter. Just sort of technically, I suppose, if you could kind of give us a little breakdown as to what you think and know of Danny Jacobs technically, because I know that Tony said he had people in the gym studying Danny Jacobs of previous. I was just wondering if you were ever sort of involved in that. He said he'd shown clips to some of the boys in the Matchroom gym and seen little things that he does, and he's tried to implement them to some of the boys in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the list of punches, like the combination list on the wall, like Danny Jacobs is there, so Tony always puts like his favourite fighters and the best combos on there. So listen, he's well up there, and I suppose he's shown me things with the jab that Danny Jacobs does, and how he'll sometimes pour it upstairs and then drive it in downstairs, and certain moves he does. But yeah, I mean, like we've studied all the fighters, all good fighters, and it just so happens that I'm fighting one of them now. Yeah.
And obviously, I suppose the main thing with Danny Jacobs, I said about the level he operates at, it's the perfect yardstick in comparison to some of the big boys. I know obviously, look, timing is different and styles make fights, but using fights like Danny Jacobs as a yardstick is always handy, isn't it?
Yeah, massively. And I think that currently with the super middleweight division, everything being tied up, obviously the likes of Benavidez is fighting Lemieux, and there's a few eliminators going down. Obviously mine's eliminator for the WBA, but I think for me personally, this is the biggest and best fight I could have, really. Obviously we was toying with the likes of Lemieux, there's a few other names being thrown about, but for me, I think Danny Jacobs is probably the biggest name that we could have probably got, by the likes of Canelo.
Yeah. What does it take for you to beat Danny Jacobs? I know this is a question you'll get asked loads over the next 2 weeks, and it's quite a broad question, I suppose, but
it's a tough one. Obviously, everyone's going on Danny Jacobs' last two performances, and they're going to think it's going to be easy. But
Is it easy to get sucked in by that? I suppose not for you in the fighter's mentality, but
yeah,
I know what you mean. A lot of people are going, "Cool, how poor was that Rosado fight?"
Yeah,
in general, it just was a poor fight.
Going by Rosado, that he's finished, he's washed up, but I don't believe it. Some styles just don't gel, and like, listen, you got to take into account as well, is behind closed doors. Danny Jacobs is used to fighting in people's backyards. We fought Canelo with 20,000 screaming Mexicans probably against him in Vegas, so he's used to being in the lion's den and being against it. So to be in an arena where there's no one cheering, no noise, you can hear the commentators talking, probably found it hard to get up for. And listen, against Gabriel Rosado, you shouldn't really find it hard to get up for, because he is a dangerous live opponent, as you've seen in the past. But listen, a few funny results got thrown up in lockdown time, so it's hard, you can't really gauge that as a true performance. But listen, the results there, and it was a good close fight. But I'm fully expecting Danny Jacobs of old, like the big punching Danny Jacobs at middleweight, that he's going to come and bring it and put it all on the line.
Yeah. And I know Tony said to me earlier, he's obviously used the underdog tag. Not the first time you would have had it going to Liverpool to fight Callum, would have been the same. So I suppose a tag that will get thrown about a little bit, but a tag you're used to as well.
Yeah, do you know what? I kind of relish being the underdog. I think
you could argue it worked against Callum Smith in a way, in terms of the fight, because we don't know if Callum overlooked you. That would be me putting words in someone's mouth. But very funny, arguably in 90% of people's minds, you won the fight and you went in as an underdog. So
I think we both made a name for ourselves, didn't we, Oscar? You upset Barker, but nah. I think listen, like you say, Callum might have overlooked me that night. Danny Jacobs might have overlooked Rosado, but listen, you got to be professional in this game and take every challenge as a challenge and see it as your neck on the line. And listen, it's just an opportunity, and an opportunity I've been craving for a long time. A big name American, a former world champion. So listen, I'm buzzing. I can't wait. And not only I'm getting to fight Danny Jacobs, a former two-time middleweight champion, I'm getting to fight him in London at Alexandra Palace in the heart of North London. So Eddie Hearn has really massively delivered for me.
I can't imagine what boxing is going to be like that. I know obviously you've boxed it. I've only been there for the darts and a couple of gigs and that, and it is just like, it's a sick arena. But for boxing, I can't picture it. Like, I can't wait to see how it all sort of lays out. Like,
it was like when I boxed there, it was 10 years ago, and it was like I was fighting in I think it was an 8-rounder, so I was early on the card. It was still light out, so obviously now to be main event, hopefully be a bit darker. I'm sure it will be. And I just think it's going to be a completely different setup, like fan wise and built up around the edges and stuff. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how they do it.
Yeah, make it sort of a lion's den for Jacobs.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I mean, I don't know what
You'd like
the
to fit. I
plans
mean,
are.
I'd say everyone's going to get behind you, and I'm sure they will in London and whatnot.
Yeah, I hope they make it as uncomfortable for him as possible, and let them know that we're here to make it a rough night for him.
Throwing pints at him as he walks out. I don't get any ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, thank you very much for giving me so much time. I've got to say, this is not the ideal setting because there's generally no street lights around here.
I know, yeah.
So this is
silhouette.
Yeah, it's a silhouette. Yeah, if you've watched this, you haven't unlocked John Ryder yet.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Get the cheat mode. We need the cheat code.
yeah, John, thanks for giving me so much time and giving me a lift at Brentford Station.
That's alright, mate.
A couple of weeks out and just. So, what do the next 2 weeks entail of you? That's how we'll end it. What do they entail? Obviously, I think you'll probably have 1 week of hard training left, and then tail off just before you get into fight week.
Yeah, we've got a hard week of obviously sparring and a few of the longer sprint sessions this week. Next week, the running volume gets brought down for the sprint sessions. We'll still have a few good spars next week, and then obviously we'll tail right off for fight week, and yeah, it's game time.
Let's go, baby. John, top man.
Thanks for having me, mate.